here at Cricket Vinor. Sunday morning, early start, 9:30 for the first ball. That's the second T20 international of the weekend between Czech Republic and Hungary. News from the toss this morning: Hungary won the toss, chose to bowl. Guys are lining up out in the middle now. Big injury news from overnight. My good friend Dylan Bruno unfortunately injured his hand yesterday, so he will not be opening the batting as usual with Saba. Saba there, ready to take the first ball. Been quite a scramble this morning with our crew of hearty volunteers and ground staff pulling everything together. Much better weather on the outlook here than yesterday. Just have to hope the notorious wind up at Vinor doesn't affect our marquees too much. And the first ball is coming in. Not the quickest, but Saba just taking a moment to get his timing right. Myself at the moment on the mic. Dan Casey here. Should be joined by Greg Hours later on, and hopefully we'll get a few of the guys in to take the second microphone as well. Divi Singh, Babar's batsman wicket-keeper. Had a couple of nice scores in the domestic T20 already this season. Facing his first full ball. Strays down leg side. There's a nice bit of wind out there, so some potential for the swing bowlers, but you've got to judge it right so it doesn't stray too far. As we know with T20 eyes, anything down leg will get called. I think I'm gone, right?
Yes, something happened.
Little pull round the corner there from Divi. And the first boundary as well. beats the bat. So yeah, Divi with a nice little pull off his hips there to get the first boundary of the morning. As the wind picks up here, Mohandas comes in and beats Divi again. So, a sedate opening over on a Sunday morning here. 6 runs from the over. Single for Divisi, a wide and a 4 for Singh. Umpire Pete Vincent takes the batsman's cap, radios over to us that the new bowler is Abhitesh. Same opening partnership from yesterday. Lots of tinkering and fidgeting and wriggling out there in the middle. Umpire Vincent says, get on with it. So, Abhitesh faces up to Davisi. A bit wide there for the first ball. Here comes Abhitesh now for his second ball. Oh, even wider, and the keeper's done well really to stop that from being any additional runs. Bit of a loose start here from Abhitesh, giving Davisi a chance to get his eye in on the pace. Bit better line there. Didn't really get up much. Hard for Davisi to do much with it. And yeah, Davisi is almost checking his shots there. He realises he's not quite going to get it in the arc that he'd prefer. We're up to 8 from 8 balls here. As Abhitesh comes running in. And that's a lovely delivery. A bit more honest shot from Davisi, and still very much played and missed. Shouts of encouragement from the Czech dugout.
one possibly on the cusp of a wide. Davisi was staying back at first and couldn't get over to it. Yeah, a microphone might pick up the small planes that we get coming overhead in the background. The ground here at Vinor in northeast Prague, on the outskirts of the capital city. Lovely green area. You wouldn't think you're in one of Europe's capitals. But yeah, we're located right near a training airport here, so you get people taking their little planes up for a spin of a weekend, or learning pilots, having a go. Saba gets back on ball, I think for the first time in the over, but only pushes it to point. Apart from those 2 wides, it was 6 dot balls. We're up to 8 runs off the first 2 overs. As word spreads around the ground that 8 is the total. We have our ground staff dotted around the oval here. You might pick up a couple of them during the course of the innings. We've got our good friend Dijon, the leader of the crew, looking after the scoreboard, getting the scores shouted over to him at the end of each over. Mohandas comes in for his second over. Dijon with Dijon's on the scoreboard. Divi with a little poke outside off stump. The keeper got a little bit excited, but not too much interest otherwise. And a solid defensive. Another plane approaches, as does Mohandas. Divi with a hearty drive. Possibly a half chance there at cover. It doesn't run all the way. The outfield just a touch thicker than we'd have liked it. But 3 runs. A rare commodity in T20 eyes. But well placed, got through that short cover. And from there, it was a long run around for deep backward square and mid-off. Brings Davisi on strike. Davisi's on 1 from 9 so far. But always an eager runner. You saw it's just a little push to make sure bat was on ball, but as soon as he knew it was going to sneak past the bowler, he was ready to get that single. Yeah, certainly tempted to go for the single there. It's skewed out into the offside and a bit of a fumble, but fielder got round to it. They showed themselves well in the field yesterday, Hungary, so there's some respect for the talent. Good hit, but not quite all of it, and it bounces up nicely for long on. But the Czech team satisfied. 5 runs from the over. Take us up to 13 off 3. Have to give a shout out to our wonderful sponsors who helped to enable this tournament. You can see them on the display there in the top right corner, and also down just past Pete Vincent's head on the live stream, the Prague City logo. Thank you for Prague City for all their support. Tabella have been a great supporter of the national team, as have Wintec in providing the kits. And the balls that we use for our domestic T20 league. And Rangoli in the top left corner. They'll be providing lunch for us today. We're really spoilt these days. I remember when I moved to Prague 15 years ago, there was like 3-4 Indian restaurants. Probably a good 30 odd now. And Rangoli have 3 branches in Prague. I happen to work near one, so I can attest to the quality of the food. This over started with a wide and a little poke from Singh to Gully, but not enough time there to scamper a single. Well watched by Singh, and gets enough on it for a single squeezed out to the leg side. See a couple of comments on the live chat. Good morning to you all. Some requests for the team lineups. If you go to Crick Heroes, the app, or to the website crickheroes.in and just search for Czech, this match should come up. If you look in the matches section, Czech against Hungary. Obviously from there you can click through for the current scorecard. You can watch the game on the app as well. Obviously you can join us on YouTube, as you probably are. Nice solid bat from Saba, but straight into the offside. Fielder swooped on it. No chance for a run there. Yep, we have moved to Crick Heroes this year. I know it's quite heavily used over in India. There's quite a few associations around Europe and around the world who use it extensively too. As Davisi punches down the ground to mid-off. And yeah, the Crick Heroes app, you can also follow all our domestic leagues on there. I know coming up there's a massive game in Division 2 this morning between United. I've got Ali Hassan sitting next to me here, United player. Probably gutted he's not in action this morning. Nice ball there from Divi Singh. Has he got enough on it to get to the boundary? Oh, he has, just about. A valiant scamper from mid-wicket. And the ball beat him by a fraction. Those are the worst. You put all that effort in to get there. You think you can do it. The ball teases you. And then just lazily flops over the rope. 4 runs. So Divi has started very nicely here. And that's very nice to watch that onto the bat. Nice firm sort of slap drive. And he knew as soon as he hit it that there was space for him to take that single and push the Czechs to 21 off 4. Nice fruitful over, 8 off that one. Believe that's the highest scoring over so far. The scorer's talking too much. I don't have the opportunity to ask Ali how he feels about United's game this morning, but one of my many hats locally is to keep an eye on that, and halfway through that T20 Division 2 match this morning, I'll have to let the guys know what sort of targets they're looking for. That's a lovely shot by Singh. Picks up 4 more. I believe that's his 3rd boundary of the morning. Yeah, just to round out that story, United are in 2nd in Division 2 at the moment, and Moravian CC are in 3rd. They're playing down in Brno, so United are travelling, and it's the last game of the group stage of the T20 League, so if Moravian can get a good win to turn around quite a net run rate deficit, then they'll be at home in the semi-final. But more likely, United will hold on for that 2nd spot and get themselves a home semi-final. Squeezed out again. Another solid hit. Fielder's got across quite well, and Divi was very tempted for a 3rd, but it's a good throw from deep. I don't know if our microphones will pick up the encouragement from the Czech dugout. Happy with how Singh has set about his business so far. Oh, that might have gone too high though. That was a real tricky one for the fielder to deal with. And he didn't manage to get there. Bit of uncertainty between the umpires of whether that carried or not. I believe umpire Raghava Lokasani over there at the far end has indicated that that is a 4. Oh, those are always the worst, aren't they, when you've got a deep fielder, it's a lofted shot, you can't make the catch, but it bounces inside the rope as well. As you see, some of our esteemed ground staff scampering over to assist with the search for the ball. It's a lovely ground here. We've got a golf course to the left side and behind us, but in the distance it's farmland, and so some of those crops can grow wild, get a little overgrown, make hunting for the ball a bit difficult. a common sight in Czech cricket, and I imagine most of European cricket. The action stops for 2 or 3 minutes as a mad hunt for the ball gets underway. How many have we got down there now? 6, 7? Hey, so Ali, while we got a moment, what about United's game today? Confident? You've yeah, because it's tricky. Because if they beat you heavy, then they finish second, and you'll be third. But
Yesterday's game was also very tricky at the end. They have only one good batsman, and he was like hitting everywhere. He hit us 5 sixes. His name is Kriten, I think.
yeah, I did. I saw the scorecard. Yeah, Crichton was batting nicely. Shimal played well as well for United.
29 runs with 3 wickets. I think his bowling spell was the crucial one. It's brought us back.
So yeah, the same two teams met in Division 3 yesterday. It's the second team, second 11 for both of those clubs, and I believe they're well placed in the top 4 of that league, as well as the little break in play undoes Divi Singh, who batted really nicely for 24 off 18 balls, but he's just feathered one behind there, and that's the end of the Czech opening partnership. Nice start for the Czechs though. 5 overs, 31 for 1. A little platform has been laid, and the skipper says, I want a bit longer out in the middle. Yesterday only lasted 3 or 4 overs, so today he has decided number 3 is the position for me. Oh, look at him. What a great picture that is. One of Aaron's many awards. Great player, great part of the local scene here for many years. Top fella. And he's grown into international captaincy very nicely. So 6th over in the opening partnership again. Going to take all of the power play. Saba Divisi at the far end. He's only on 3 so far from 12 deliveries. But that's a good way to change that. Hopefully he's got his eye in now. Some runs flowing off the bat. And that takes the Czechs up to 35. Oh, sorry, not back-to-back boundaries. There was a dot in the middle there, but two crunching offside drives in 3 balls. And Davisi races into double figures now. And a wide ball from Abhitesh to follow. Oh, and slightly misjudged there from Saba. I'm not sure if our cameraman has a slightly better angle on it. Looked like Saba got outside the line, really. Obviously that can be dangerous. Inside edge always in play there. Yep, a nice little push into mid-wicket there. Another single. Takes the Czechs up to 41 and gives the skipper 1 ball to have a look at Abhitesh. A solid start from Ashokan and a slightly wild throw on the follow through from the bowler, costing himself a couple of overthrows, getting the skipper off the mark. So the Hungarians make their first bowling change, bringing on Zishan. And Saba now finding the rope with regularity. So that's Saba's 4th boundary in a couple of overs here. And that's the 50 up for the Czech team. Oh, and another little push down to 3rd man. And it's another boundary. This is the danger of Davisi when he gets going. Remember, he was struggling away, 3 from his first 12. Now he's up to a runnable 20. And even more, 24 from 21 now. Yeah, he ran that first one very nice, very hard. I think the skipper wasn't particularly looking for a second himself. Fancied taking the last ball of the over again. Looks like a little leg bye to finish the over. The score moves up to 57. Much nicer day up at Vinor today. Yesterday, quite a few clouds in the sky, quite a bit of wind. We suffered with our temporary sight screen solution, one of them getting destroyed. We've still got a nice black screen behind for the batsman to view from this end, but not quite the height that you would like. Not quite as high as the far end, which is staying up gamefully at the moment. And also our marquee tents. We got 3 lovely new tents yesterday, and one of them did not even last the first day. Too windy up here. But much more pleasant today. Still a bit of wind buffeting us around. There always will be on this lovely expanse of land out here in the northeast of Prague, on the outskirts of the capital. Now this is Abhishek coming in, yesterday's man of the match. Has that slightly awkward looking run up where he approaches very diagonally, almost. Wow, no, more of an angle than Gus Fraser. I always remember as the example from my youth. He even does it around the wicket, so yep, you see, whatever works for you, isn't it? If turning on that angle enables him to fire it down nice and straight, then why not? He gets a dot ball on his first effort against Davisi. And another one. Much appreciated for the Hungarians who bled a few runs there. There was 43 off the last 4 overs. Bad maths, 44. Oh, Saba's feeling it now. That's gone the fairway. Almost onto the fairway next to us. There's a golf course recently opened over away to our left. See a couple of Sunday morning golfers resplendent in their red hats over there. believe that's the 4th hole. There's still a fair bit of roughage in the way, so it would take something extraordinary to actually get over onto the fairway there. Yeah, this has been a nice little partnership between these two, with Davisi opening up since the fall of his opening partner, Divi Singh. Yeah, Divi laid a nice little platform with that 24 off 18, and Davisi has moved to 33 off 27. 30 off his last 15. The Czech's up to 66 off 8. But it seems that's quite enough, and Saba's decided it's time for a little break. Various substitutes from both sides showing their athletic prowess. So after 1 over of Zishan, Hungarian captain has elected to bring on spin. I believe it's Bhavani who bowled a lovely spell yesterday and put the clamps on the Czech team. The Czechs were in a similar situation yesterday. I think it was 68 for 1 yesterday, and then lost 6 wickets for 30, I believe. So plenty for the Hungarians still to work with here. Looks like a better day for batting, and it's interesting that they've chosen to chase again after coming up a bit short yesterday. Trying to lay those demons to rest, perhaps. But Saba is really feeling it now. As I say, recall he was on 3 from his first 12. Took a little while to get going, and so that's 34 now off his last 16. Oh, a little poke into the offside. Should have been nothing to it, but complacent throw in from point. Beat the keeper. An easy overthrow. And the Czechs certainly on top for now. It's one of those funny ones. Arun was shuffling down the wicket already, and in the end he might have preferred to stay where he was. Driven back to the bowler, who dealt with it easily. Then a little push into mid-wicket. Soft hands there from the skipper. Nice little easy single. Take us up to 73 after 9 overs. seeing some comments in the chat, presumably in Hindi. Sorry, I can't respond. Some comments about ODI match, but this one is a T20 international, the second of a series of 3 that we'll play this weekend between Czechs and Hungary. This is now the 9th year in a row where we've run the Central Europe Cup. Started in 2015. Traditionally, we like to have 3 teams or more over the course of the weekend, but there's a lot of planning and organisational difficulties this time, and we're glad to at least get Hungary over and have a 3-match series. Always push that a long way wide. The keeper's dealt with it well, but the Czechs will take a free run. Oh, that's a lovely solid shot. It gets through the mid-wicket for a single. These 2 teams met 3 weeks ago in Vienna. 9 T10 unofficial internationals as part of the European Cricket Network. Saba flicks another 4 away, moves up to 42. Yep, over the course of that weekend, they played Austria too, a 3-way series. Each team playing 6 matches. The Czech team actually finished bottom, but they played Hungary twice and beat them. Sorry, played Hungary 3 times and won twice. But the Hungarians certainly showed that weekend that they're dangerous. The Czech team didn't manage to beat Austria at all, but the Hungarians picked up a couple of wins against the hosts. Oh, that beats the skipper. A nice comment from Harendra, just asking what sort of score could be expected. It's very hard to say, really. It is a nice batting pitch. Maybe the outfield's a touch thicker than normal. Solid drive down the ground, and Saba's quite quick between the wickets, so they pick up a pair. I think with the sun out, the Czechs will be hopeful of 150, 160. I know there were a pair of Division 2 matches last week where the team batting first scored in the region of 200. But there's been a bit of rain in Prague this week. Much needed, but we probably had 3 or 4 dry weeks up till then, so the outfields were lightning fast, the pitches were baked and bouncy. Just a touch more moisture around in recent days, possibly slowing things down. The Czechs will be happy at the halfway stage with 83. Divi Singh starting things off with a rapid 24. And since he's departed, Saba has really stepped up nicely. 40 runs off his last 19 balls. Ably assisted by skipper coming out at number 3. He's nudging the ball around nicely, and I'm sure it won't be long until he starts taking a swing. A bit of firepower still in the hutch for the Czechs too. We've got the notorious beast Sudesh Wickramasekara and the tank Ritik Tomar, and a fair bit otherwise. I think skipper there preying on the fumbles and uncertainty that the Hungarians have shown in the field this morning. He was watching intently as the fielder swooped on that, and a slight fumble, he was ready for a quick scamper for a single. Saba responding well to the call. And there we go. Aaron starting to get his eye in. Solid hit down the ground, but straight to the fielder. Saba gets down nicely for the sweep shot. Couple of boundary riders out there, so just a single. This right-left combo, always an additional frustration for the field as they have to shuffle for each single. Oh, and has he got enough of that? He has, you know. Lovely little cut shot from Aaron. Using the pace nicely. Taking the Czechs up to 91. I thought I could hear slightly more distinctive blades of a helicopter going overhead. Seems the players on the field are distracted by the flying object. But back to the action. That's a good effort out in the field. But, oh, if it was a direct hit, he might have been in trouble, but he was willing to give it a shot. Good running from Saba, who takes a knee, catches breath after that little scamper. Could hear Aaron as he was coming down. He knew that was going to be some hard work for the long on, and he was saying, "Two, two, 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 two." Saba was ready. And so we're up to 93 off 11. Very healthy run rate of 8.5. Maybe we're looking then at 170. Wickets in hand. Still a bit early to be carelessly discarding them. So, change of bowler. Zishan replacing Abhishek. Sabawoon on 45. Oh, and that's an awful leg side wide to start the over. Would probably have been wide to a right-hander. And the second ball is not much better at all. Indeed, goes all the way. I think. Is he given that off the bat? Well, Saba will take it. So 49, I think. And that's a half century for Saba. Well played. Very nicely done. Off 35 balls. Lovely innings from Saba there once he got motoring. Brought to an end. Little edge behind. It was a fine knock, 50 runs from 36, as I say. He was on 3 off 12 and then got motoring, so 47 off the last 24. Very enterprising knock. It brings Piekarski to the crease. He's met with a wide. Paris was in fantastic form over in Vienna 3 weeks ago. A couple of quick-fire half-centuries against the Hungarians, so they're very aware of the danger he possesses. And he's off the mark with a 4. Valiant effort down there in the field by Abhitesh. Zishan comes in for the last ball of the over. Squirm comes away from the keeper, but no harm done. Put it down as a dot. And the score is 105 from 12 overs. So the spinner Bhavani to continue. I don't know if the microphone is picking up what the dugouts are shouting, but immediately the call went up 2-2-2, and then it was clear it was quite a gap that Aaron had picked out, and 3-2-3 came the call, but not quite that much space. Easy couple. Goes for the same spot. Should be the same result. And this time you saw it. Paras put the motors on straight away. He was ready to see if a third run was possible immediately. It was relatively comfortable. A solid drive straight into the covers. Now back to the bowler. Checks on 110. Three dot balls in a row. He gets through the field for the last ball. A wild throw. Way over the keeper's head. Buys a cheap extra run to end the over. 7 from it. 112 on the board. With 7 overs to go, Czechs will be optimistic of posting an imposing target. Just one change for the Czech team this morning, with Divi Singh, the first man out, replacing Dylan Stain in the lineup. Just casting an eye over to the bench and wondering if we will see Rakshit or Niraj or Farhad in this afternoon's third match. He's gone very aerial with that one. It's going to be a heck of a catch, and just about managed to place it nicely. Sort of a short cover point and a boundary rider there on the offside. Short cover knew it was over him straight away. Point tried to scamp around, seeing it up in the air for so long, but was never going to get with Here's all the boundary rinders grasp. So batsman ran a couple. That one's got to be, and it is. Just pushing it further and further wide, and eventually gets too close to the line. Well fielded there by the gully. Oh, and that's taken the shine off a very decent over for the Hungarians. There were just 3 off it until that clipped through the leg side. Gets a boundary off the last ball. Takes skipper up to 29. And the Czech team on 119. 7 from the 14th over. There's been a steady accumulation of 5, 6, 7s with that nice little run in the middle from Saba. A few decent boundaries there. Got a couple of comments in the chat. Badsa Yadav saying he thinks we'll get up to 175. And Harendra back chipping in at 165 is his prediction of a decent par score. Yeah, I think the Czechs will be happy if they get to 170. That'll be a tasty target for the Hungarians. Oof, well, if there's many hits like that, then 170 is well in range. That flew a mile off Paris's bat. Beautiful connection. Not even a hope for the fielders. They just watched for where it would land among that horrible thick grass over there. The ground staff scampering round to try and assist. The Hungarian fielder waving for assistance. His teammates in general choosing to take a moment to have a little rest. Some drinks being run on, including for the batsman. Czech national team manager, or coach, sorry, Charles Croucher runs on with a spare ball. So the umpire has the option in case of any excessive delays such as this. Let's see, 3 of the Czech subfielders have gone around to assist with the search, waving the Hungarian fielders to get back in the game, let them take on the hunt. I think we got a good 6 lads in there, 7 lads in there, trying to search for the original match ball, but umpire Vincent is showing the Hungarians the reserve ball that we have, giving them the option to continue with that or wait for the original to return. Would appear the first replacement ball was deemed of insufficient standards, so the hunt continues, and meanwhile here on the sidelines, guys are reviewing the options. Looks like they're not too happy with any of these older balls that have been kept in the kit bag for use, although the original ball has been found. The work party slowly moving away. The Czech subfielders making their way back to the dugout. I mean, we have 1/10 left there. Paras flicks it down into the leg side, and there's a vast expanse of land down there, plenty of time to make it there and back, and add 2 to the total. Nice little poke into the leg side for Paras. I see comments are flooding in. RK thinks 180 is well within reach with only 2 wickets down. But that's a nice ball from Bhavani, keeping skipper Aaron Ashokan in check. Sharim seems to think that the team batting first is on top. I'd say you're about right there. The Czech team has started well. Kalyan thinking more like 160, 165. But Paranoid is much more optimistic and is thinking 185. 55 off the last 5 overs. Wouldn't mind it. Got 2 batsmen who have a lot of ball striking ability. Should be fairly well set. The Hungarians seem to have struggled to get much out of the pitch so far. Remains to be seen if the Czech team will struggle similarly, because after yesterday was a bit more low scoring, and probably the conditions didn't help much there. It's a touch more overcast yesterday, blustery. Potential showers fortunately avoided us. Today the sun's out, a few clouds in the sky, but it's a nice day for batting, and so maybe the Hungarians will profit similarly. Aaron on the move, following that ball. Couldn't quite get to it. is Zishan's last over. It's gone for 32 so far. That one, oof. Umpire Pete Vincent has the best view in the house. From his angle, he thought that stayed just about within a strikeable distance of the batsman. And the third ball, Aaron has chased it, and unfortunately he's got a feather through to the keeper. So that's the third wicket falling for the Czech team. 129. Those who put on 29 in just shy of 4 overs. And out comes Mr. Beast. Been struggling for a bit of form domestically. Our friend Sudesh. Maybe this is very much the ideal situation, 6 or sticks. Starts with a little poke into the offside, but nothing doing. So this has been a decent final over of Zishan's spell. 4 dot balls with the wicket on the third. And that one is adjudged to have been pushed just a bit too far wide. Sudesh waits for that one and pokes it out into the leg side. 1 to come from the 16th over. Score on 131. Just a dot there to finish the 16th over, so just 2 from it. Very decent. Zishan ends up with 2 for 34 from his 4 overs. RK, a little disappointed, I see in the comments, wanted a bit more wham bam action in the last couple of overs. Well, you know, hold on. We've still got 4 overs left. 2 big hitters and a couple more in the hutch, so maybe we'll see it now. Harendra saying the Czechs need to get to the 170 level, or they'd have Hungary as the favourites. A fair comment. Entertainment King desperately counting down his personal target. A little poke into leg and they're going to get 2. Just landed in between everyone and gave enough space for a second run. Good running from Sudesh. It's gone too high. Great effort by long on, but very difficult. Very difficult catch. Hungarian team manager just wandered over to say hello and wonders why the long on is sleeping on the floor rather than collecting the ball. Very harsh. Paras guides that out, but well picked up in the gully there. So just a single. This is the opening bowler back, Sandeep Mohandas. They're looking at 2 again. Paras is a good runner. And Sudesh as well. Another single. As you see, probably on the stream in the distance, a man walking his dog wanders past. Hopefully Paras doesn't manage to pick him out. That one is pushed a bit too far wide, but the umpire's happy enough with it. So 7 from the over. Czechs are on 138. And yeah, I think 170, 10 and over for the last 3 will be the aim. There's a few comments in the chat. Rifat saying, I don't know why they're not taking big shots. I'd say it's some good bowling out there. Hungarians have done well to put the clamps on to an extent. But both of these two are certainly capable of connecting, and they've taken a couple of big swings. So hang on for these last 3 overs. 18 balls left for the Czechs to set as strong a target as they can. Abhishek back on to bowl with this sort of Gus Fraser, Dominic Cork diagonal running style. Can't imagine it myself. Takes me enough effort to get the ball down the other end, but I have to be lined up straight. But whatever works for you. Sudesh bunts it out to mid-off, long off for a single. Yeah, I always say, you know, if just imagine the youth coaches getting Malinga when he was young and saying, what on earth are you doing? Get your arm up. But it worked for Malinga. And he had the appeal last ball. He thought he was bowling nice and straight. Well, proof in the pudding there. Sudesh misses. Stumps are sent flying. The Czechs are 140 for 4 with 15 balls remaining. Hopefully, our friend Entertainment King in the chat realizes that this is the problem when you go for a big swing. Sorry to hear that Subu has apparently lost money. We're doing our best for you. Obviously, all of these matches need to run on a high integrity level. I've actually got all the players' phones all around me here. Can't be any sort of communications or anything. Nice little single for Sazib off his first ball. Yeah, Paras giving himself room for a big swing means that anything on that offside line is just going to be out of his arc. So another good over then from the Hungarians here. Oh, he's got some of that though. And that will roll away for a 4. Well, an overdue boundary. And it at least puts the Czechs within reach still of that 170 target. 145 with 2 overs to go. Oh, Rifat, I see a comment. European cricket will never develop. I can't disagree more strongly with that sort of sentiment, because it's amazing to see how it has developed even in the last 15 years, and the potential is there for greatness, you know. Oh, Sazib, he's got the outside edge. And Abhishek, the bowler from the other end, did well to get around to it, but Sazib, full of energy, having just come in, was straight on the chance for that to be a 2. He got back in. Got Abhitesh, the other opening bowler, changing ends again for the last over here. Second last over of the innings. Oof, Sazib with a drive straight back to the bowler, but too hot to handle. Yep, as Harendra says, a good comeback from Hungary after Daviesi's wicket. The Czechs haven't really been able to kick on in the second half of this innings. Paras gets a fair bit of that, and oof, fielder's done very well. Not sure if that would have gone for a 6. And obviously some would harshly judge that maybe he should catch it. But at least he stopped the boundary. Moves the Czechs up to 149. Paris on 21 from 17. Sazib on strike. Fresh to the crease. Has 4 from 3. That one's very short, and Sazib does well to take evasive action. These are almighty swings from Sazib, but nothing but fresh air. Got something on that one. Abhishek's done very well down there. Stops that from crossing the line, so just the 2. Take the Czechs up to 151 with 6 balls remaining.
Mate, just delete the comments of talking about fixing and any other crappy shit. Yeah, it's definitely joking, really.
Like this one.
This one.
This one. So Abhishek with the last over here. Big hoik into the leg side from Paris from the first ball. But well fielded by the boundary rider. Solid shot by Sazib down the ground, but again the boundary rider does a good job. Solid shot from Paris, and that's it for 6. Great connection. It takes us up to 159. Another very solid bunt into the covers, and that'll be 4 more. So 2 balls to come. Abhishek comes in, Paras, and that's going to be 4 more, is it? Another solid connection, and it's cut through long off and long on. And this is just what the Czech team needed. 167 for 4. Last ball of the innings. And he's not got all of it. Spinning out into the offside. Run 2, and that's all they'll get. So 169 in the end. Hungary will have to chase 170 to keep their hopes alive in this series. Just have a little look at the scorecard for you. Saba started with 50 off 36. First wicket was Divi Singh, 24 off 18. Skipper Arun Ashokan was in at number 3 with 30 off 29. Piekarski at 4 ends up with 38 off 22. Sudesh the Beast had 8 off 8 and Sazib 7 off 7. There were 10 wides and 2 leg byes. And so the total of 20 overs was 169 for 4. Pick of the bowlers, well, Zishan took 2 wickets, ended up with 2 for 34. The Hungarians were consistent with their attack, just 5 bowlers bowling 4 overs apiece. Sandeep and Abhitesh, the 2 opening bowlers, conceded just 28. Sandeep picked up a wicket. Abhishek was the most expensive bowler with 43 off his 4 overs. He picked up a wicket too. And Bhavani ended up none for 34 off his 4. So we'll be back in about 20 minutes or so with the second innings. Hungary will chase 170 to stay in the series. Welcome back, as Rahat Ali has opened the bowling here for the Czech team. Oh, hello. This is coming straight for us, is it? No. Well, Vinor showed flashes yesterday, and he's launched into the third ball of the innings to bring up Hungary's first boundary, chasing 170 here, trying to level the series and force a decider this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Well down by Venki there in the gully. Ooh, sharply back at Rahat there. Got a hand to it, shaking it. Must have been a firm strike. So it brings the skipper onto strike for the last ball of the over. Skipper didn't last too long yesterday. Maybe a bit like Aaron, he's moving himself up the order to try and get a bit more time in the middle today. Watchful for the first ball as it slides down. Fades away. And umpire Pete Vincent calls a wide. Big shout out to our umpiring team, Pete Vincent and Raghu Lokasani, two senior respected local officials. We're very lucky to have a great band of officials within Czech cricket. There's certainly a good crop of 5, 6, 7 that you'd be happy to have out there in the middle. We had Chris Tebb last year doing this tournament. He's away this weekend. We would love to have 3 umpires rotating, but we were only able to secure these 2, but we're very lucky to have them. Pete's an eternal rascal. He was saying he might mess around and make sure that Hungary get the win to set up a decider, but obviously we were joking around earlier. I said, just do like normal, Pete. Don't give anyone out for anything. He said, that's my plan. Famously, you have to be pinned right in front for Pete to be convinced that that's an LBW. It's very fair umpire with high standards, knows the rule book inside out. Riaz Afridi on from the far end. The Chateau end, you'll see just poking up above the sight screen there, the dome of the Stienitsa Chateau. Lovely little place. I think they've got a hotel there, a little cafe, stables for the horses. over there from Riaz. Afridi goes the shout from the Czech dugout. In comes Rahat to start the third over. Oh, and another tempter for a caught and bowled, but very solidly struck. Once it was past the bowler, mid-off was going to struggle with that. And yeah, Vinor top scored for Hungary yesterday. Enterprising knock of 26. It was a big wicket for the Czechs when he fell. Giving himself room. And unfortunately then the one that fades down the offside just goes a bit out of reach. And that's going to be 4 more. Enough speed on that and enough bat on that to race away. Move the Hungarians up to 18. So a nice start on the chase. And there goes another beautiful shot through the offside. And this is reminiscent of when Saba got going earlier. He's going to get 4 more there. An almighty swing, top edge, loops over, keeper and slip, runs away from the short third man. Hungarian dugout shouting on their encouragement, satisfied with this over, 16 off it, 4 fours. And yes, as the dugout were shouting, sensible, sensible. Nice little poke into the offside. Still fancied a little single, but the Czech in a ring swooped. Just enough to put captain Marka Huja at the non-striker's end off from more additions to the score. Satisfied with 16 off the over. And the Hungarians move up to 26. A nice little start for them. Obviously, chasing 170, they'll need 8.5 and over, so nearly 9. It's a good start. Riaz coming in to start the 4th over. Little fumble in the covers there from Divi, the opening batsman for the Czech team. Got things off to a nice start with his 24 from 18. Riaz comes in again. Just pushed a little too far outside. Comfortably taken by Paris behind the stumps, but umpire Ragava signals for a wide. The score moves on to 28. So Vinor continues to profit. Beautiful little shot through the leg side for 4 more. Up to 25 off 14. That's the kind of ball though. You see this boy, Riaz Afridi, built like an absolute tank, let's say. Not to steal Ritik Tomar's copyright or anything, but oof, Riaz, big strong boy, he bowls a ball like that. You imagine. Consistency is key though. That one pushed just a little bit too far. Free run, a lot of effort for very little. Hungarian captain Marko Huja on strike. 3 from 8 so far. Watchful defence. Yeah, he seems to be playing the similar role to Saba from the Czech opening partnership, with Vinor resembling Divi's early contribution of 24 from 18. And of course, when Divi fell, Saba came alive, so we'll see a very solid drive, and that's Divi himself in the covers with a very solid pickup, and even saves a single. So a few dots to end the over there, a couple of wides, but the total moves on to 34, and it's certainly a decent start for the Hungarians. They're up at that 8.5 run rate that they'll need. Chasing 170 here to keep the series alive. Obviously, there were concerns with how the series had to be set up, that if one team wins the first two, the last match is a bit of a dead rubber, but I think there'll still be a lot on it. Like, even if the Czech team were to prevail here, then the last match is to avoid being whitewashed. And you can try some different things, some different players. But anyway, still a long way to go here, and Hungary are well capable of leveling the series right here. Certainly if they keep on with the run rate that they've established at the start here. Skipper Ashokan bringing himself on, a bit of early spin. Strays down leg with his first ball. Keeper got excited. I think as the sort of appeal from the keeper, probably optimistic. It was straying down leg. The umpire signalled a wide, but I think it was clarified by the leg umpire that it flicked the pad on the way through, so the call was cancelled. Oh, that's Venki in the gully there. Came like a tracer. You can see he's hurt himself. Shaking it off. Trying to rub it off. Still shaken. I think he took that right in the rib cage, in the gut. Be a shiner tomorrow. Oh, that's a safe pair of hands out there. And he's taken the catch. It's hold out straight to the man on the deep mid-wicket boundary. I think that's Rittik, is it? As Pete radios through, catcher was Tanky. Rittik Tomar out there on the deep mid-wicket boundary. You see the batsman was excited as he hit it and then realised, picked out the fielder. And skipper Aaron almost had the breakthrough 2 balls earlier with our mate Venki, who we have to give massive shout out to for so much work on the ground here, and then he's set up this production as well. Got his 2 homies in, Holden and Rattle, up there on the camera. Because Venki's got a job to do out on the field. I know he'll be kicking himself. He lives for this. He'll have been dreaming of getting a cracking catch up in the gully, and that one came like a rocket, so he just couldn't take it. Fortunately, 2 balls later, the man holds out to deep mid-wicket, and the Czechs have taken their first wicket. Batsman number 3, Zishan, fresh from 4 quality overs, 2 wickets when Hungary were in the field. In at number 3 and pokes his first ball into the offside. No run. And I do believe, was that a wicket maiden? Very nice start for skipper. Big shout out, of course, to our wonderful scorers, Annie and Ali, sitting alongside me. You might hear them chiming in now and again. Occasionally laughing and rolling their eyes at me because they can hear my commentary right next to them. It's a bit odd to have someone waffling away, although I suppose most league matches end up with someone waffling away as the scorers do their work. So it's probably not too different. So, is it spin from the other end, and Naveed Ahmed, who took the player of the series in last year's CE Cup. You'll see, short little run up, but just that sort of, you can get a nice little sling, a nice little spin, steady, hard to whack. And yeah, with last year's CE Cup, there were some decent runs made, but Navid's overs consistently went for a good economy rate, and he picked up wickets along the way for deserved Player of the Series honours. I'm sure some of you wannabe cricketers on the stream will be looking and thinking I would hit it for 6 sixes, but tell you get out there, it's not so easy to put it away. And the Czechs are a decent outfit in the field. You definitely come across some teams at this level and you see that they've been training hard, working hard on it, and it's impressive. The Czechs, yep, do a job out there. Would love to get more training time in, but that's life in the associate world. As Paris gets down really well to prevent any buys getting through there. Wonderful addition to the Czech team in the last year or two. Piekarski behind the stumps. Oh, and they really fancied that one. I mean, I guess it was a wide drive. Zishan's chased it, taken a big swing, and they've definitely heard something as it's gone through. Navid and keeper Paris were very excited. Even I think that's Rittik again getting it among the action at mid-off was running in, but I think Zishan's walked past them and explained it was maybe just some of the equipment or something clicking as it went past. So maybe it was a deceptive sound. Umpire wasn't interested whatsoever. 3 players around still seem a bit bemused that they didn't get their wicket. It's almost like they were looking round for a moment whether they could call in a video review. I'm not sure our equipment is well calibrated enough to get a definitive decision on those ones. But that is cheap as you like. Skipper to skipper. He's just flicked it back. Aaron takes the court and bowled. A tame way for Hungarian captain Marko Huja to end his innings. Just 4 from 13. Not the start he'd have been looking for. And after Vinor's enterprising opening, Hungary are not having the start that they wanted. And now the skipper's brother, the wicket keeper, goes out at number 4. I mean, I remember playing Hungary 10 years ago and watching Stan and Mark opening the batting, I believe it was, at that time. They've been mainstays of the Hungarian scene for many years now. He'll be disappointed with how he's given up his wicket there. And oh, Stan. I mean, it was a lot firmer connection, but still bamboozled by Ashokan's 8th dot ball in a row. Benke there, recovered from that sharp blow he took in the last over. Down well in the gully, keeping the pressure on. 9 dot balls in a row from Ashokan. And chipped into the leg side. It's going to land just short of Saba Davisi. Oh, and that wasn't far away at all. It was certainly a full shot. It's got Stanahuja off the mark. At the other end, Zishan Facing his sixth ball, still on 0. Oof. A little bit uppish too, but the boundary rider out there, Sazi Buyan, keeps it down to a single. Last ball of the 7th over, and the Czechs have come back well here. That's a very nice sweep though. He's got down very nicely to it. And yeah, Rittik was always looking second best out there at deep mid-wicket. He had a long way to get around and it was firmly struck. Even allowing for the fact the outfield is a touch thicker than we would normally have it. That ball was well struck. The ground is dry enough that it reached the rope. We had a fair bit of rain in Prague this week, so it's helped the daisies to grow a little bit. Just thicken things up in the outfield a touch. We were down here on Friday trying to get things ready, and the backup lawnmower is failing on us, so I think it's still nice, but we would possibly have it down a touch. Zishan flicks out to the leg side, fielded out there by Rahat. And so there were signs from Stan's first couple of balls there that he's comfortable with spin. He's well on that, but so is Venki in the gully. Watch the ball carefully. Naveen comes in again. That one a bit fuller, but almost surprised the batsman a touch. Inside edge that eluded the keeper. They get a single. Zishan has hit it a long way up. And it's taken. That's a safe pair of hands. I believe that's the beast. It was indeed confirmed by square leg umpire. Sudesh the beast. A giant of a man. And a safe pair of hands for a swirling catch up in the air. Zishan knew when he hit it, he hadn't got enough on it. It'd gone more up than out. And as soon as he saw a fielder settling under it, he knew he was in trouble. And the Hungarians are in a touch of trouble here. Now 43 for 3 in the 8th over. Things are starting to get a little bit out of control for the Hungarians. They're already looking at 10 and over. 3 of their best bats back in the hutch. They drove up here yesterday morning. A nice 5 or 6 hours on the road. Stayed overnight. And they'll drive back after the second game today. That's gone for 6 off his first ball. Well, Zahir not messing around. I was going to say they've got that long drive back after a double header today, and they certainly won't want to be going back with a 3-0 defeat. And if Zahir is going to bat like this, then the dream is still on of a 2-1 series victory. The Czechs won yesterday's first game, a bit of a low scorer. Czechs got 128 all out and held the Hungarians to 119 for 7, I believe it was. 8th wicket for Hungary got in, had sort of 5 overs thrashing away, but they could only knock singles around and they couldn't get the boundaries needed to make it any closer. Zahir is planning on extending the lunch break by the look of it, hoping to make quick work of the total. I don't know if our beloved cameraman would have caught it, but our friends from Rangoli advertised up in the top left of the stream brought our food for lunch. We got lunch for all the officials and the 2 teams, and he drove straight over here while the game's going on. We had to advise him to maybe move the car a little bit just in case a flying ball would come and damage it. So we've got all the team lunches waiting, sitting happily in storage. And it seems Zahir might be hungry. A few more of those hits and we'll be starting lunch 20 minutes early. Holden is very excited by the prospect. A longer break would be highly appreciated. But as a Czech supporter, we want this Zahir fella to be gone. Aaron is maybe hatching a plan. Bowls now to Stan Ahuja, Hungarian wicket keeper. Pushes out into the covers. Oh, but Stan's going for the 6 option. Doesn't quite get enough of it, and it's good fielding down here by Rahat and Sabawoon, preventing a boundary. I think they've run 2. Squeezed away leg side again, not really got full connection, but it'll get a 2. I think is that still Rittic out there in the deep on the leg side. Bit more square these days, but that went more on a 45, so a little scamper. And Stan is already shown himself to be quite comfortable against spin. Flicks away another single. Now, can Zahir keep going? 12 off 2 so far. Aaron is an experienced campaigner at this point, so no doubt has a plan. He's already switched to coming round the wicket. Quite a bit of air for the first ball, and just a bit too far outside the hitting zone as well. So wide is indicated. Zahir waits patiently, cuts that firmly out. Sasib picks up. Boundary rider on the offside. Good to see my main man, Phil G, popping up in the chat. Guess we'll see you down here later, Phil. Haven't checked my phone in case there's anything going on. I'll have to start checking because there's a huge domestic match going on. The top of Division 2. United are playing Moravian. I mean, it looks fairly certain that United will finish second in the second division, but If Moravian can get on top today, then who knows? So I think you can follow that game if you look up the Czech League on the Crick Heroes app, or if you go to crickheroes.in. You see the three Czech T20 divisions. Got 24 teams playing locally this year, the most we've ever had. And they're in 3 divisions of 8 teams. So the top division has already finished. All teams have played each other once, 7 games in total. Semi-finals are set for the 1st of July as we take a couple of weeks off here with international matches and local events. New bowler, Venkatesh Magasiam, made his T20I debut yesterday, and this is his first bowl, and he's promptly welcomed to the scene with a huge 6 as Zahir continues his rampage. He's only faced 4 balls, he's hit 3 of them for 6. I was wondering if Skipper would make this move to switch Naveed, who obviously Zahir quite fancied.
With this 6, 9.1.
But he's also seems to like Venky's bowling as well, but Venky comes back. And yet manages to restrict him to less than 6, so a minor victory. But Zahir threatening to turn the game on its head. Czechs were well on top. He's come out at number 5 and already hit 20. Stan got down to sweep. Knew it had hit his leg and not really hit much else, so he wasn't too keen to run. And meanwhile, Zahir very eager to get back on strike. Came down a couple of steps, but solid hit by Stan. Didn't quite get it straight enough. The cover out there is somewhere between long off, the long on, and cow corner. Suppose more cow. Oh, Venky, you beauty! Oh, the big man. He's got 20 off 5 so far, but Venky has deceived him with an absolute beauty. We say goodbye to Zahir. 20 runs off 6 balls. Like I say, he was threatening to turn the game on his head. And maybe Venky, with that wicket, will turn out to be vital. Always especially sweet after literally getting hit for 6 off the first ball. Come back and bowl him out. So last ball, new batsman. Yesterday's player of the match. Got a solid 21 off 22, I believe, not out. As I say, couldn't quite get enough big hits, unfortunately. Watchful. Little poke out into the offside. And that's a decent over in the end from Venky. 6 off the first ball and then just 3 more, and he picks up a potentially priceless wicket. So the halfway stage, Hungary have 72. The Czechs struggled to accelerate. The Hungarians need 98 more, and they're already 4 men down. You have to fancy the Czechs from here. There's still a long way to go for sure. So what happened? I didn't catch. Did he kick?
Fall before fall.
Right, I didn't catch if he'd knocked them over with his foot, perhaps. But yep. So the extraordinary scenes really as the stumps fell over. Bit of wind gusting up, I suppose. And the ball was hit for 6, but doesn't count. We were saying earlier, it has to be a very convincing appeal for Pete Vincent to take it seriously. Nothing doing there. Oh, that's so close though. I think it might be a bye. It is indeed. Missed everything. Could have been stumps, could have been an edge. Keeper could only deflect it. Bunted away, and it's hit the gap. A couple of people out here. We got Rahat Ali, sort of wide-ish long off. And then there's a deep cover as well. I think there's Sazib Bouyan. But that pierced them perfectly. Lovely shot by Stanahuja. Now he goes the other way for a very nicely struck 6. And okay, a good bit of fight here from the Hungarians. So a few more of those. We got a game. Great reaction from the Czech team. Oi, oi. They almost had him there. But yes, this is the cut and thrust of international cricket. Fantastic. Hungarians giving it a go. Tracking along at 7.5 at the moment. They need 8.5 to win. Still only 4 wickets down. Venki to continue. Wonder if Skipper will continue or save himself maybe for an over at the death. Stan certainly seems comfortable against the slower bowling. Margasian comes in again. Paras does well, gets his body behind it, behind the stumps. Skipper Ashokan barking out commands, making sure everything's in place before handing the ball back to his bowler. Excellent example set by the skipper as well. It's one thing he's always done well, got his body behind it. And yeah, forced a bit of a false shot. A wild hoik. Down nicely there, Stan. Very solid, competent sweep shot. Some great work out here. Obviously, we're a bit restricted in what we're able to do with the cameras here. But Sazib over on that leg side boundary did well to cut off that 4, but no one's going to cut that one off. And Hungary staying afloat, move up to 92. Sazib Buyan into the attack. Quick look in the chat. Thank you, Musa, for your support. I appreciate what Liam's saying as well. Like, it will be good to see this pair give us a good chase. Hopefully we can have a last over thriller. The Czechs still probably on top, but the Hungarians are staying afloat. 77 needed off 8. So it is just under 10 and over. It's a psychological impact with that, but Stan Ahuja, 31 off 19, has done really well against the spinners. You see skipper Ashokan turning back to seamers now in Sazib Buyan. Good fielding out there by Riaz Afridi. Keep it down to a single. Yeah, we're getting asked in the chat as well about the starting lineup for the next game. I believe these are confirmed in the ground 30 minutes before the game, and then they're loaded onto the Crick Heroes app and the Crick Heroes website, crickheroes.in. So that's the best way to keep on top of it. And yes, we got Phil in the chat. Phil is no doubt listening in on his way. Be on a metro or on a bus somewhere on his way up to the ground. And confirming that yes, as soon as we can get the lineup information available, we'll post that in the YouTube feed. Hungarians are knocking the ball around nicely here. Doing what they need to do, staying afloat. Well, there's a lot of noise out in the middle. From what I can see, there's nothing doing. Looked like it was just a bit offside for an LBW, and he didn't get any bat on it. He was trying a bit of a old dill scoop, wasn't he? A little bit wild and reckless. That's a bit more conventional. Not going to get 4 though, with Rittic out there in the sweeper position on the boundary. Just a single. That's 100 up for Hungary. Warm applause from the dugout. And that's the end of the 13th over. So exactly 70 needed off 7 overs. 10 and over. And yeah, one thing with this Czech team, there's a few options out there. So Arun cycling through, he prefers to use Rittic later in the innings. He's been opening the bowling for the PCC Kings team in the local T20 league. I think he might well have the most wickets in the top division. In comes Tomar. Oh, and there it goes. Ahuja. That's gone quite away. Firm strike, but straight to the fielder. Moves Stana Hoosier up to 46. And the Hungarians to 111. They'll get a wide as well there. That's 4 more for the other Abhishek, his first boundary. An expensive over, 16 from it. Exactly what Hungary needed. So it's down to 9 and over needed. So Sazib comes back in. Always a bit short. Is that going to be 50? No, it's not going to roll. So just 2. Just when we were thinking the previous ball might have brought up his half century. Now he's holed out to Riaz Afridi out there, cow corner. And the pendulum swings back. Fantastic knock, 48 off 30. So Abhitesh comes in, lefty. Hungary need 52 from 5.4 overs. His first ball beats the bat. Solid strike down the ground, but it's not threatening the boundary. Saba gets on it and cuts it down to just a single. Very nice. Another single. Yeah, they can't afford many dot balls from here, so. So 49 needed off the last 5 overs. 4 more.
For 5. 195 for 5.
Great hit there. Great excitement as that landed just in front of the Hungarian team. And they could indicate to the umpire that that was a sixer. So 32 needed from 23. Sazi Buyan bowling to Hungarian opening bowler Apitesh. Another solid strike, but well dealt with by skipper Aaron Ashokan in the covers. Left hand, right hand combo. Farasat facing his first ball after that wicket. 31 needed off 22. Guides it down to third man. Hungary facing their demons from yesterday. Very similar sort of a run chase here. Where they're left with just a bit more than a runner ball. Means some boundaries are needed. Can they get them this time? Well, that will help. Looks like it landed just short, but it will be 4. Flayed through the offside and oh. Well,
150 for 6.
fantastic over in the end.
150 for 6.
20 runs needed from the last 3 overs.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to remove this, or it's better to remove it so that you know. I think, yeah.
So back into the attack. Riaz Afridi. 3 overs left. Hungary need 20 runs. Some calls in the chat for Sudesh the Beast to come into the attack. I think he's not in top condition at the moment. So that might be why he's being held back. Maybe we'll see him in the afternoon match. Make sure you join us. We'll be back at 2 o'clock for the third match, potentially the decider between these two. Scampered single from Farasat. Now Abhitesh, who has hit a couple of fine boundaries here to keep his team in contention, facing Riaz Afridi. The advertising sign in the background topples over. Got a bit windy up here. Riaz fancied it, but did it pitch leg side? Oh, has he got him? He has. Incredible. Well, Riaz was appealing for the LBW, which was never going to come. And meanwhile, there was no fielder there. So the Hungarians scampered the first signal, turned round and thought they could quickly sneak another one too, but they couldn't. And it's Abhitesh who's gone. Distraught. He knew he had a chance of bringing his team home there. And it was worth a go. I think it was a direct hit in the end from Riaz that messed it up for him. So I think it's 18 runs needed from 16 balls. Riaz Afridi just took that run out. Comes Afridi. Oh, it was too hot for the batsman to handle, too hot for the keeper to handle. And so Hungary are still within range here, that one more boundary sets them on top. Nudged away, picked up at gully by Divi Singh. And it's a single. New batsman, opening bowler, Sandeep Mohandas. Faces second ball. This is Hungary's number 9. And he's 16 of 14 balls. Squeezes one out to the offside, but just a single. Oh, and it's beaten the fielder too. And Riaz has got enough speed on him, has he? It hits the rope. So it looks like that was credited to the batsman, a little clip off the legs. So 4 runs there, and that so you might have overheard the equation has come down Hungary's way. 11 runs off 12 balls. Sazi Buyan to bowl the 19th over. Remember, this is Hungary's number 8 and number 9 at the crease here. None of the established batsmen have been able to hang around. Can these two do enough? Nudged away, is it going to be 4? It is. Well, well, well. Hungary well on top now. 7 runs needed from 11 balls. Single, single. 6 needed from 10 balls. It's going to take a spectacular bowling effort from here. Fields coming in. At least long on and long off came in. Got 2 boundary sweepers and a 3rd man on the 45. Straight. And a dramatic effort in the field from Riaz Afridi. Slips over, still tried to get the throw in. Single saved. Dot ball. Is it too little, too late? I think the score is showing wrongly. It's gone up, and it's a safe pair of hands there. Sudesh the Beast. Have you got one ball wrong? Because the score's showing. Yeah. Sorry, Sudesh with the catch. And this seesaw game as it swung backwards. Out comes Hungary's number 10, Mark Desfontaine. He certainly showed himself to be a solid bat last night, so no tail end of this. Hungary need 6 runs from 8 balls. Oh, and punch through the offside. That's a very solid shot. Settle for 2. 2 is fine. 2 gives them 4 more needed from 7 balls. Sazib's last ball, can he produce some magic? It's well taken by Venki out there. Oh, it was swirling around, sliced up in there. And Venki has taken a very nice catch to put us on a knife edge for the last over. Wow. 4 runs needed, 1 wicket remaining. Bhavani, number 11, striding out there. What a last over we've got ahead of us here. Czechs need to hold Hungary to 1 or 2 off the last over. Hungary looking for 4 to get the win. And the Czechs just need 1 wicket. Anything could happen. Skipper Ashokan out there directing the field. He knows he needs to keep the pressure on. He knows that any edge could fly away to the boundary and end the game. Desperately trying to tell his square leg to come in. Riaz Afridi with the responsibility. 1 fast straight Yorker could settle this. Oh, has he done it? No, it's not going to run. Sazi Bulyan chases it down. They get 2. Still on a knife edge here. Any result could happen off the next ball. Riaz over eager to get on with his run up. Focuses again. So scores are tied. Number 11 faces the Czechs opening bowler with the scores tied. 1 to win. Number 11. Is this his moment? Yep, that just happened, kids. The game is tied. Number 11 was too eager to try and get that single for victory. Umpires consulting. And looks like everyone's satisfied in the end. It's just unsure if the umpires were taking a moment on that one, but looks like everything is confirmed. And the match is tied. Wow, what a dramatic end. And of course it means the series can still be tied. Hungary keeping their hopes alive by the barest of margins. Let's just have a look through the the scorecard here. Stana Huja with the top score, 48 off 30. 3 other knocks of 20 odd. And the Czech bowlers, they shared it around more, but Sazib had 3 for 36 from his 4. And Aaron had 2 for 24. Naveed with 2 for 26 as well. Thank you, and join us again for the match at 2 o'clock.